Coming up, Iowa City bars close their doors after a new mandate from Governor Kim Reynolds. And later, local farmers continue to feel the devastating after effects of the derecho.
We take an inside look at how the Iowa baseball team is handling the pandemic, and we have a Big Ten football update.
To start out the week in Iowa City, the skies are cloudy, but the sun will be making an appearance starting Wednesday. Stay tuned for this week's weather forecast.
All that and more coming up on this Monday, August 31st edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere, DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Bailey Chihan. Iowa City Community Schools will begin the 2020 school year virtually. The school board voted unanimously to hold 2 weeks of virtual instruction after they received a waiver from Governor Kim Reynolds. After those 2 weeks, they can return to in-person learning or reapply for online instruction. This came after the Iowa City School District and Iowa State Education Association filed a lawsuit against the state of Iowa for forcing students and teachers to return to in-person class. Check out the rest of this story in the print edition of the Daily Iowan on stands now. Governor Reynolds changed the Friday night plans of University of Iowa students after she shut down bars in 6 counties. It's the first Friday night of the semester, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Since Governor Reynolds mandated the closure of bars in Iowa City, the usually bustling downtown of Iowa City has become a ghost town. As classes began last week, the University of Iowa reported 111 positive cases of COVID-19. This was the trend across the state of Iowa, causing Governor Reynolds to take action.
While we still know that this population is less likely to be severely impacted by COVID-19, it is increasing the virus activity in the community.
Governor Reynolds' bar closure mandate came just days after University of Iowa President Bruce Harold shifted the blame from the university to the downtown nightlife scene for the rise in COVID-19 cases.
The bars, I think, I can't speak for them, but they weren't following that mandate. And this specific failure to follow that proclamation is really threatening our campus.
In the end, both the downtown district and university face the same enemy, COVID-19.
We love Iowa City, and we do not like this dividing us.
I was the most discouraged to see a letter coming from our university president that basically put the onus of COVID on the businesses downtown.
Despite President Harold shifting blame away from the university, local business owners say the university is not doing their part.
I just don't think they were ready for what's gone on. They did very little, giving their students 2 masks as they come to town.
But for now, weekends downtown will remain quiet and empty until September 20th. From downtown Iowa City, Bailey Chihan, Daily Iowan TV. Even though you can't get out to the bars, you should still take advantage of the continuation of summer temperatures this weekend. Let's toss it to Mallory in the weather studio for more.
Thank you, Bailey. This week, we're going to see the temperatures staying hot but consistent. This morning is cloudy with a high of 73 and a low of 68. The temperature will rise throughout the day, hitting a high of 80, but will begin to cool down with a low of 51 this evening. Taking a look at the forecast for the rest of this week, tomorrow the clouds will stick around with a high of 78 and a low of 57. We'll see a spike in the temperatures on Wednesday, but the remainder of the week will sit in the low to mid-80s. I'd suggest grabbing a jacket for any plans you have in the evening. Despite the steady weather we're going to see this week, some people around the state are still picking up the pieces left by the derecho that hit 3 weeks ago.
As COVID-19 numbers rise,
the farmers were affected the worst as they rely on the resources their land provides.
Behind me once stood a barn that held tractors and plowing equipment that made this small Keystone farm run smoothly. Although the derecho hit 3 weeks ago, the damages are present and are affecting the lives of farmers daily.
We lost 3 big bins and a barn and a machine shed, and some other parts of the buildings blowed out, and the corn was laid down pretty flat.
Charlie Waters is unsure if he plans to rebuild the barn that was once standing. Clint Tweetball, the executive producer of Matthew 25, which is a nonprofit organization in Cedar Rapids, makes plans to rebuild what was damaged.
The water came down and the walls will have to be replaced. Some of them, all the carpeting and that kind of thing. We lost the greenhouse roof. We lost about 20 of our fruit and nut trees, and some of the crops that we grow were damaged.
Walker Homestead in Iowa City received minimal damage, but still enough to make a mark. Although their livestock remained safe, their shelter and sheep shed could not withstand the strong winds.
During the derecho, wind speeds got up to 57 miles an hour out here. Some of the grapes, as you can see behind me, they actually blew off their post. We had to put them back up. Had a couple of posts break, but that was about it. We also had a few trees that were down.
This 85-acre farm feels very fortunate that they did not receive any further damage.
This is Mallory Wilson reporting live for the Daily Iowan TV.
As COVID-19 numbers rise, for some, the option of online learning is becoming more appealing. On Friday, University of Iowa students and staff gathered on the Pentecrest to protest the university's choice to keep students on campus. The university released numbers of positive COVID-19 cases earlier that day, revealing a total of 618 cases among students and employees. The protesters called for classes to move online entirely to prevent the spread of the virus. They also demanded that university employees receive hazard pay and that tuition be reduced. That wasn't the only protest that took place this weekend. We have Daily Iowan politics editor Caleb McCullough in the newsroom to talk about the Iowa Freedom Riders protest. Caleb, why were the Iowa Freedom Riders protesting in Iowa City this weekend?
Protest organizers brought up a number of issues, mainly relating to the Iowa City Council meeting on Tuesday. There were also mentions of Makeda Scott, a UI student who died during the summer. Protesters want more transparency in the investigation in her case, which is still in her death, which is still under investigation by the Johnson County Sheriff's Office.
What do the protest organizers want to see from City Council?
Well, first, there's an unreleased video that the mayor and the mayor pro tem say shows that the state gave the directive to use tear gas on peaceful protesters on June 3rd, and protesters want to see that video released. Next, there's a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which the council is setting up to address racial injustice in the city, and the group has suggested amendments to that, which will be discussed during the public input period on Tuesday. And then lastly, there's a taser purchase. The city is considering a $230,000 taser purchase to replace outdated equipment for the ICPD. And protesters say that that goes against the city's council's decision to restructure the police department, so they want to see that rejected.
And where is the City Council on these items?
Well, they will be deciding whether to move forward on Tuesday with an external review of the night that tear gas was used, and that would include that video and whether they can release that or wait until the review is over. So that will be discussed Tuesday. Also, they will be taking public input for the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and they will be discussing those amendments, though they've made it clear that they want to make the Truth and Reconciliation Commission collaborative community project, so it's unclear whether they'll adopt those amendments or not. And then 2 councilors I've talked to said that they want to defer the taser purchase for now, but I'm not sure where the whole council is on that.
What's next for the Iowa Freedom Riders? Are there more protests planned after Monday?
As of now, there haven't been any announcements for protests after Monday. The point of this weekend and Monday was to lead up to the Tuesday council meeting. If the organizers are dissatisfied with what the outcomes of the meeting, it's possible that there will be more protests, but we'll just have to wait and see.
That was Daily Iowan politics editor Caleb McCullough in the newsroom. And it's been a sad few weeks for Iowa sports fans, but there's still a chance we'll see the Hawkeyes take the field soon. DITV sports director Kate Overton is coming to us with updates on Big Ten football and Iowa's baseball players.
Yes, thanks, Bailey. Earlier this spring, many NCAA student athletes had their season canceled without question. However, the NCAA decided to grant these athletes another year of eligibility. DITV sports reporter Tiana Torijan finds out why returning baseball seniors came back for their granted additional year and what they are pursuing for an education.
This past spring, the University of Iowa baseball team had to put a halt to their season due to the coronavirus pandemic. Their 2019-2020 season was ended on March 12th, and since then, the Hawks have not taken the field. Dwayne Banks has been quiet for too long, and these student athletes are eager to get back into the swing of things. Trace Hoffman, a senior pitcher for the Hawkeyes, was one of the players who decided to come back for a 5th year.
It gave me kind of a different perspective on the opportunity we have and the opportunity we have to be part of the Iowa baseball team with a bunch of friends and teammates we've had over the years, and it's just something that it's our last chance to do, so just something that was a pretty easy decision for me.
Along with Hoffman is catcher Austin Martin, who is also a returning senior. He recently got accepted in the Masters of Finance program.
Master of Finance program, it's a little bit more time involving, like you have to do a lot more as far as like outside the classroom. I think I'm able to allocate my time in the areas that I know I need to. This is my 5th year of college.
Martin and the Hawkeyes are eager to start official fall team practice in September and are hopeful to play their full season in the spring.
Reporting from Dwayne Banks, Tiana Torijan, DITV Sports.
Fingers crossed for Heller Ball to happen this spring and Big Ten football to start in November. Yes, that's right, I said November, not spring. There were talks over the weekend about the Big Ten moving their season back to the fall. Instead of the September start time, the Big Ten was aiming to start their season around Thanksgiving. There's nothing official yet, but Big Ten coaches and athletic directors are constantly trying to find a plan that would work best. The SEC, ACC, and Big 12 look to kick off action September 12th, with other smaller conferences starting their week 1 this week. We will keep you updated with the Big Ten's football plans. Until then, let's send it back to Bailey at the desk.
And that's all we have time for on this episode of Daily Iowan TV. Thanks for tuning in. Head over to dailyiowan.com for all the latest news between Monday and Friday. And tune into DITV Now, our 2-minute newscast on social media with all the latest headlines in Iowa City news. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Bailey Chihan. Have a great day, Iowa City.